man with white smoke billowing from his body and large, festering sores on his skin runs straight toward the solitary cabin in the distance, as if something terrifying is chasing him. He bangs on the door. Inside, Daniel and Clara stand guard with guns. The stranger claims that he was cursed and had almost been killed, and that his wife was kidnapped. He pulls out a few pieces of gold, explaining that the men chasing him had planned to rob him but failed. He offers the rest of the gold, begging only for protection. Soon, a group of men approaches the cabin. Their leader, Victor, warns Clara that the man is not as pitiful as he appears. Letting him in, he says, will bring terrible consequences. Clara's face tightens. She realizes she has never seen strangers like these before. Darkness begins to fall, and Victor has no choice but to temporarily retreat. But when Clara turns back into the house, Daniel is nowhere to be seen. She rushes into the bedroom and finds Daniel lying face up on the floor. The stranger they rescued sits nearby, his mouth full of blood. Before Clara can react, her bloodied husband slowly gets up, his eyes red, his fangs clearly visible as he speaks, calling to her.
Hey, baby. Don't cry.
A year passed in the blink of an eye. Marcus and Silas, twin brothers who had weathered many storms, finally begin their journey home. They plan to use the wealth they brought back from Port Sakia to start a club in their hometown, an entertainment venue for the black community. Soon, the club opens. One late night, 3 people appear outside the building. They are the same 3 figures who appeared at the beginning of the story. They claim to be traveling musicians on a long tour, simply stopping by to listen to some music. The 3 had no choice but to start performing outside. The blues pulls people closer together as fellow lovers of music. But Silas, a veteran of many battles, senses that something about these visitors is wrong. He subtly refuses their request. The leader of the strangers, Lucien, remains silent for a moment before leaving a cryptic remark. They'll leave slowly, just in case you change your minds. The club is already struggling. The guests pay with plantation vouchers instead of real money, and not a single cash payment has come in. At this rate, the business will collapse. Julian is the only white man present. His maternal grandfather was Benedictine, which allows him to move freely between the black and white worlds. She sees an opportunity with the mysterious outsiders. Perhaps she can approach them and discover what they really want. Outside, Evelyn steps out to speak with the strangers, who are still waiting patiently. She casually asks if they are truly good people. The leader smiles and nods. Of course we are. When she asks if they have money, Lucien pulls 2 gold coins from his pocket. What kind of money is this? She asks. She asks him what kind of money it is, and he answers with a faint smile, saying it's the solid gold kind. Baby, where did you get it? For a moment, Evelyn's mind struggles to separate reality from illusion, yet she cannot ignore such a tempting offer. Then she notices something strange. Lucien wears an unsettling smile. Drool slides from the corner of his mouth. His eyes glow with a faint, eerie red. Evelyn suddenly realizes something is terribly wrong. She draws her gun. Leave, she orders. But just as she turns, Lucien lunges forward and attacks. Back inside, Evelyn is unusually affectionate toward Marcus. She leans close, speaking softly, almost too warmly. In a room, while making out, Marcus notices drool glistening at the corner of her mouth. Moments later, Silas comes looking for his brother. What he finds freezes him. Evelyn is clinging to Marcus like a wild animal, biting and gnawing at his neck. Marcus is barely breathing. Rage explodes through Silas. He pulls out his gun and fires, shooting Evelyn. Silas rushes toward Marcus, but before he can reach him, Evelyn, who should be dead, slowly stands up again.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.
Then she runs out of the room. Silas gathers Marcus into his arms. His brother's life is fading quickly. The pain crushing his chest is indescribable. He wanted to grant Marcus one final request, but there is no time. With the last of his strength, Marcus whispers that he loves him, but the nightmare is only beginning. After the guests are sent away, Annette discovers the bloody message Evelyn left behind. I will kill you all. Fear spreads quickly. Annette suggests they move Marcus's body outside, but Silas refuses. No one touches him. Annette warns him this may not be a normal death. Evelyn had escaped after being shot. That alone proves something unnatural is happening. It could be an evil spirit or something worse. Silas refuses to accept it. His brother cannot be gone. There must be some magic, some ritual that could bring Marcus back. Annette can only lower her voice. I'm sorry, I'm powerless. The doorman who had gone to the bathroom earlier returns, but Annette stops him at the door. She refuses to let him enter. She suspects he has been bitten. Leon protests angrily and points at them, demanding the wages he is owed. Silas hands him the money. The man suddenly grabbed his arm and tried to bite him. Luckily, Silas reacted quickly and shot him. He collapses, but seconds later, Leon stands back up again. Silas and the others slam the door shut, locking him outside. Then something even more terrifying happens. From the room where Marcus's body lies, a voice echoes out. Marcus's voice. It speaks in the same tone, the same rhythm, the same familiar way of talking. Silas feels his heart stop. He checked Marcus's pulse himself. Marcus was dead. Annette quickly warns him, that's not him. But the voice continues speaking, recalling memories only Marcus and Silas would know. Their days in the German war, the violent streets of Chicago, the battles they survived together. Silas begins to doubt himself. Those memories are real. Only Marcus could know them. Slowly, his resolve weakens. He asks Annette for the keys, but before she can react, Marcus suddenly crashes through the door. Annette instantly throws a bottle of acid at him. The liquid burns burns into his skin. Marcus screams and runs away into the night, breathing heavily. Annette finally explains what they are facing. These are not evil spirits like the ones from Naboo legends, she says. They are vampires. Evil spirits possess the souls of humans. But vampires are something far worse. They are a rebirth curse. The human soul becomes trapped inside the body forever. It cannot pass on to ancestors or warriors. It is forced to exist endlessly, trapped in hatred and darkness, never able to feel the warmth of the sunrise again. Silas's voice trembles. Then tell me, can my brother be saved? Annette shakes her head slowly. Annette explains that all the vampires share a connection, yet they continue to live on even if the one who created them is killed. The only mercy left, she says, is to free their spirits from the curse, and that can only be done by killing them one by one. Old Caleb asks how such a thing is even possible, and Annette replies that sunlight is their greatest weapon, along with a stake to the heart. Silas, weighed down by grief, reflects that he had spent all those years trying to keep his brother safe, only for it to end like this, and he mutters bitterly about the night they have endured. With that, they all begin preparing what they can for the battle ahead. Sammy, overwhelmed, begins to blame himself, saying his father had always warned him that something evil would come because of his music. But old Caleb stops him, telling him firmly not to carry that burden, that none of this is his fault. Then she says something chilling. If I was bitten, you must promise to finish me before I turn. Before anyone can respond, a scream echoes from outside. They rush toward the sound. One of their companions is already dead. To prevent the others from mutating, Silas drags the body outside and throws it away. Then he hears something chilling singing. In the distance, Lucien is arriving with his growing army of vampires. Inside the club, fear begins to poison everyone's mind. Under the crushing pressure, suspicion spreads. What if one of them has already been infected? Annette proposes a brutal, simple test. One by one, people take cloves and chew them. The room grows painfully quiet. Then Bruno refuses. Silas doesn't hesitate. He pulls out his gun and points it straight at him. Terrified and humiliated, swallows the garlic. Seconds pass. Nothing happens. Everyone eats the garlic. Still nothing. Slowly, they realize something horrifying. They had misjudged each other. The man lying on the floor had not been dead at all. The liquid they thought was blood was only spilled red wine, and the man had only been unconscious. The man Silas had thrown outside suddenly wakes up. He begins pounding violently on the door, screaming for help. Silas opens the door. The moment it cracks open, the creature lunges forward, biting before anyone can react. Grace's husband, Elias, walks slowly toward the entrance. He ignores the chaos and blood on the floor. Softly, he tells his wife to come home with him. Grace stands frozen in the doorway. Her face is pale with terror. She watches their friend being attacked. Elias smiles faintly. It's nothing, he says calmly. That man is just being malicious. Grace stares at him. This is not the husband she knows. His expression is gentle, but there is something strange beneath it, a quiet excitement he cannot hide. He urges her again. Everything is ready. Let's go home. Then suddenly his tone shifts. He suggests another option. If you let me back inside, we can pack our things together and leave. Someone inside the house warns Grace not to trust him. We'll find a way to end this. Just then, Lucien steps forward from the darkness. Lucien tells them that this world has already left them for dead, that it won't save them, won't spare them, and won't even let them stand together. He says calmly, I won't let it happen again. He smiles. Cooperate with us, and we will live together forever. Then he says quietly, so why don't you go ahead and invite us in? Elias speaks again, his voice eerily calm. You should listen to him, Grace. Then Lucien adds, or listen to me, because now I know everything he knew. Let us in. It becomes clear what has happened. Lucien has not only taken Elias's body, he has absorbed his memories. Every private moment of the couple, every secret, every shared memory. Lucien now knows them all. He uses those memories to manipulate Grace. Then he reveals something even stranger. They bring forward Sammy, Silas's young cousin. Lucien admits the truth. Sammy was the real target all along. His musical talent is powerful. Lucien believes it can call and gather people from distant communities. To prove his sincerity, Lucien offers a deal. Give us Sammy, and everyone else lives. The room erupts in anger. Silas refuses immediately. Lucien only laughs coldly. You couldn't even save your own brother, he says. How do you expect to save anyone else? Then he reveals another cruel truth. By reading the memories of his followers, Lucien discovered something about the club. The building the brothers bought from a white owner was a trap. That man was secretly a leader of the Ku Klux Klan. Years ago, he had invited black families to gather here for celebration, and then massacred them all. Join our new family, he says. Together we can destroy the Klan. But Silas and the others remain unmoved. Suddenly, Marcus appears again outside. He steps forward slowly. All his life, he and Silas had chased freedom. They worked endlessly, yet never truly found it. Now Marcus claims he has finally discovered a way. Not through resistance, not through escape, but by embracing the darkness. He says he cannot walk this path alone. He asks his brother to join him. Silas stands frozen. Marcus continues speaking from outside, unable to enter without invitation. Inside the house, tension explodes again. Grace, terrified for her daughter still in town, insists they should fight. Annette argues they must hold out until sunrise, but Grace refuses. She cannot stand by and watches her neighbors and family slowly turn into monsters wearing human skin. You were a soldier, she says bitterly. You used to make decisions on the battlefield. Why are you hesitating now? Her voice trembling. Those creatures outside took her husband. Now they threaten her daughter. Her words cut through the room. If we can't act now, when will we? At that moment, a strange chant echoes through the night. The song, sung by Sammy, echoes through the darkness. A haunting melody, beautiful and soaked in blood. From outside, the vampires begin to sing. Their voices drift through the darkness like a cruel chorus. chorus. They pulled out her head. They pulled out her feet. Now they savor a bloody feast that makes the stomach turn. The song mocks the fear inside the house. Hearing it, Grace completely breaks down. She rushes outside in desperation. Her frantic screams and violent struggle, they gather their weapons. Wooden stakes, garlic, silver blades, anything that might kill a vampire. Then Lucien pushes the bar door open. The battle begins. The ferocity of the fight shocks everyone. The survivors stab, slash, and strike with everything they have. Garlic burns their enemies. Annette notices something important. These vampires can feel pain. Before she can say more, she is tackled by the mutated Marcus. As she struggles beneath him, she shouts one last reminder to Silas. Don't forget our promise. Silas grits his teeth, forcing himself to act. With shaking hands, he drives a wooden stake straight through Annette's chest. Nearby, old Caleb sacrifices himself to buy time for the others to escape. As he holds the monster's back, Silas grabs Sammy, and the two of them rush toward the back door. But Lucien is already waiting. Marcus leaps forward and tackles his brother. Lucien seizes Sammy. Suddenly, Annette charges forward from the side. She pulls a wooden stake from her belt and drives it into Lucien's back. Lucien roars in fury and bites into Annette's neck. Silas fires several shots, knocking Lucien down. Sammy breaks free and runs, but Lucien quickly recovers and chases him. He begins reciting words from a strange old scripture, phrases forced into his memory long ago by the men who claim to be his spiritual fathers. He hates those people, yet ironically, those same words still bring him comfort. Meanwhile, the two brothers fight for their lives. Silas is exhausted and barely able to stand. Marcus overpowers him easily. Lucien mocks the stories of gods and demons taught by missionaries, laughing at their claims of divine superiority. His words drip with anger, sarcasm, and broken faith. Marcus pins Silas to the ground. He opens his jaws to bite, but suddenly, his movements falter. Some tiny fragment of Marcus's humanity rises within him. Silas seizes the chance. He twists free and throws Marcus down. Marcus grabs a wooden stake and aims it at Silas's chest, but his hand trembles. For a moment, the two brothers stare at each other. Silas apologizes softly. He could not protect him. At that moment, Sammy acts. He grabs his guitar and hurls it straight at Lucien's head. The impact rings out. Lucien screams. A metal piece from the instrument pierces into his skull. Furious, and lunges toward Sammy. Silas rushes forward with another wooden stake and drives it deep into Lucien's body. Lucien's screams blend with the shrieks of the other vampires. Thunder roars overhead as the battle reaches its climax. Then, sunlight breaks through the dark sky. As the light touches them, their bodies ignite with agony. Lucien lets out a final desperate scream as his body burns to ash. The other vampires suffer the same fate. But even after surviving this supernatural nightmare, another enemy remains. The Ku Klux Klan. Silas sends Sammy away to safety. He chooses to face the rest alone. The next day, when the Klan members arrive at the bar expecting to carry out another racist massacre, they meet a man who has already lost everything. Silas pulls out the military weapons he once brought back from the war. What follows is a brutal revenge. Caught completely off guard, the Klan members are wiped out one by one. Some attempt to flee in a car. Silas throws a grenade into the vehicle, destroying it instantly. Their leader crawls across the ground, begging for his life. Silas drops his cigarette and sits down weakly. The man tries to buy his survival with money. Silas doesn't care. Moments later, justice is delivered, but it comes at the cost of even more blood. Decades pass. Sammy became a famous musician, and his music spread across the world. One night after a performance, a man and a woman enter the bar. When Sammy turns around, he freezes. He recognizes the face immediately. It's Marcus, still alive, still a vampire.
Oh. I guess I was one person you just couldn't kill.
Marcus tells him that he had made a promise to Elias to stay away and let Sammy live his life. Then he offers him something else, immortality, a way to keep living without pain. Sammy says nothing. Instead, he slowly picks up his guitar. He begins to play the same song from that day, a simple melody, but every note carries pain, memory, and loss. The room grows still. When the song ends, Marcus quietly turns with his companion, and the two of them begin walking toward the exit. But just before the door fully closes, Sammy speaks. He says that maybe one day, he'll wake up paralyzed, reliving that terrible night all over again. The blood, the fear, the loss. He pauses, then adds softly, that before the sun went down that day, that was the best day of his life. Marcus pauses at the doorway. He says there's no doubt about it. The last time he saw his brother was also the last time he saw the sun. For a moment, he seems lost in the memory. Then he adds quietly that even if it was only for a few hours that day, they were all free. Like, subscribe, and share for more recaps like this. Thank you.